Hey guys, I'm Alex from RoofTentInsider.com. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. With that said, let's get right into the video. When people first see a rooftop tent and they're not familiar with it, they ask, what does it do and is it even safe? Because they really don't understand how it works. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about if it is actually safe and kind of what are the different factors you need to worry about when having safety in mind. The biggest thing obviously is to come out and say, I do think they're completely safe as long as you take the proper steps and aren't misusing it, then everything should be totally fine. And I haven't heard of any incident where somebody got hurt using a rooftop tent or anything like that. Now, the biggest thing is obviously the ladder. When you fold out the tent, and if you don't properly mount the ladder for one, but also just set it up at the proper angle, which it should be at like a 70 or 80 degree angle. So you don't want it too upright and you don't want it too slanted as well. So those are two things that you really need to consider. But as long as you're safe using the ladder, it's totally fine. The weight limit on them is usually around 250 pounds, somewhere up to 300. So they can hold plenty of capacity. That's not the problem. It's just people need to properly use them, and that is the biggest thing for safety. Next thing is just knowing the different weight limits. So a couple of factors and different weight limits to know is, one, you need to have a proper roof rack. So if your roof rack can't hold the tent, obviously this is going to be an issue. So the first really measurement you need to be aware of is the dynamic weight limit, which is how much your roof rack can hold when your vehicle is in motion. So I have the Yakima Core bars, for example, and they can hold 165 pounds of dynamic weight. So I have a tent that is less than that, obviously. This one in particular weighs about 116 pounds, give or take, I think it is. So I'm well under that limit, and that is a huge dynamic. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, when I sleep in the tent, it's usually gonna be, 600-700 pounds with me and my family, however much weight it is. And that's totally fine, because a static weight limit is very different than a dynamic weight limit. And static is just when the vehicle is not in motion, and since then the weight will be distributed across the entire frame of the vehicle, it can be much higher. So that is really something to consider, or at least have in mind when thinking about safety. Another thing is just not over exceeding the weight limit of people inside the tent, and this is really not a concern. Some rooftop tents can hold up to 650 or 700 pounds, like I said, and if they implement a honeycomb aluminum design, they're much stronger as well. So just if you look at your specific model, the manufacturer will say how much weight it can hold inside the tent, so definitely keep that in mind to camp safely. Next is just properly securing it. It's really not all that hard. Honestly, it was much easier than I thought it would be. It's held by 4 bracketing systems, and you just screw down some nuts and bolts with mounting plates on it and make sure it's tight, and you're pretty much good to go. The next point I'd like to make about rooftop tent safety is just when you're sleeping inside the tent, and this goes when you set it up. So you want to make sure the vehicle itself is completely level, and you can do this just using recovery boards or 2x4s or rock in the woods, whatever you need to do to level your vehicle as much as possible, because obviously you don't want to open the tent and be able to roll around in there. So being able to have it completely level will ensure your safety as well. Another thing that no step you need to take, but I just feel much safer when I'm inside a rooftop tent. If you camped in the woods a lot, you know that there comes a lot of weird noises, big animals, small animals, critters, bugs, anything like that. You're much safer, I feel, up here than down on the ground, and I really don't think there's an argument for that. So once you are actually inside the tent, I feel way safer, and there's just a lot of peace of mind that comes with it. So I will definitely add an article below where it kind of talks about rooftop tent safety, how to properly use the ladder, and a little bit more details if you kind of are really concerned if they are safe or not. So I will add that in the description below. If you guys found this helpful at any point, please throw a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a bunch. And also subscribe. We're coming out with videos like this all of the time. And it's just meant to be super helpful, fun, and I just didn't see a lot of information on rooftop tents out there, so I'm trying to pump it out for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.